At least, you know, for their side and whatnot, but it was very, very good. It's so funny because I often see Zeus when they goes mid. Usually they have a good time. There's never really a bad matchup. I talked about how it's versatile and you can see him in different roles, which we saw last game. We saw the 4-position Zeus, and it always still seems to have an impact. Like every game I watch it, whether it's mid or off lane or even support, they still have a giant impact with good levels and just the ability to scout out the enemy team with your ulti. And we saw that last game from Goddamn.
Yeah, honestly, the start for Goddamn was so poor. Him as well as Gortz had a really tough time in that off lane. Mad killed them over and over and over again, and it didn't end up mattering because he got the level 6. He started getting his Zeus ults off, and the Zeus ult plus the Sonic Wave from the Queen of Pain absolutely blew up Alliance. That was enough so that they could create enough space for Artez to get farmed, to get to the Radiance, and then he took over the game unsurprisingly. This game, they're going to go for something a bit different. They pick up the Slark second. Not sure how I feel about that choice, but Alliance go for the Lycan, and they also have Batrider for Nico, one of his better heroes. HellRaisers will go for the Vengeful Spirit. Sniper first ban from HellRaisers is a pretty smart ban, as Pycat's been playing it all the time. And some interesting picks coming through here in this ban, or first pick phase.
Yeah, and then two of those bans too, from HellRaisers, the Wisp and the Trent. This is what I talked about, banning out things from Alliance that they're comfortable with. These defensive kind of healing support heroes. The last one that we know of is Dazzle, which actually would be quite good against Slark. It'd be good to buff up your Lycan's damage and then reduce the armor of the enemy team. So that's maybe something to think about. Skywrath Dazzle as a support duo, not the most typical. Normally you want to see some kind of stun with Skywrath, so like an SK, another kind of good roamer, maybe even Rubik this game, not
Earthshaker.
Okay. Earthshaker's actually a very good pickup here if they wanted to. Wind Ranger, normally see it as a core, and I gotta tell you, Pycat's Wind Ranger is pretty damn impressive, so we'll probably see him play that in the mid. Loda playing the Lycan up top. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, could be Earthshaker, could be Sand King. I just mentioned Dazzle because I know how well they've been playing with Dazzle lately. So I think that's still not out of the question.
They've got a couple of options there with that support, but as you mentioned, Pycat's mid Wind Ranger pretty great. Goes for the Slashers build, or at least he has gone for the Slashers build in the past, which is, I think, straight Ags into Daedalus. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I think that's the build, at least in terms of itemization.
All right, who is Slasher and what does his build? I don't know anything about this guy.
Well, he's a guy that he's I don't want to call him a pup star, but he's very high in MMR, and he's streamed a lot recently, and he's come up with really different crazy builds and builds that you wouldn't think would work on certain heroes, and he's very in depth with his commentary. I think he's Swedish. I might be wrong about that though. Danish. Okay, sorry about that. And Shadow Fiend now for HellRaisers, by the way. But yeah, that's what he does. He was a pro in Dota 1, so.
Okay.
So hopefully that gives you a better idea. If you just search Slasher's Way on YouTube, you'll find some of this build stuff, I think.
Slasher, is it like AS? Like Slosser?
Slash.
Okay, I do recognize that name actually, because I remember there was a name like that. I think it was Slasher. Where it was like annoying to look at because you're like,
Slosser,
that shouldn't be spelt that way.
I don't know why I say Slasher, but it's Slosser, yeah. I didn't notice that. I guess I'm just dyslexic.
Yeah, no, I think he said Slasher too. Yeah, that's the thing.
But it's just spelled wrong.
Yeah.
Alright, well.
But, alright. Shadow Fiend picked up here for HellRaisers. I know that they play it well too. It's been a long time since I've cast them personally, but I remember them playing it a lot, and they did some good things with this. And Alpha Ninja, I assume he's their mid player. Artez playing the Slark. Alpha Ninja's been quite impressive the times I've seen him, so
yes,
expect good things from him.
Now, if you look at HellRaisers, they really do need their offlane hero. Zeus is probably supporting, and Alliance need their last support. I think if HellRaisers are, I would personally ban Earthshaker here, but they go for the Witch Doctor, which is fine as well. I think Alliance could go Earthshaker, they could go Dazzle, which we've talked about. There was another here you mentioned, I think, Sand King, maybe. We'll see if they go for that. There's a lot of options here for Alliances. We're about to get underway. The draft almost completed here for the last game. Excited.
A lot of these options would work. Like Earthshaker could roam on him quite effectively with Skywrath onto the Shadow Fiend. That is, it's just a good overall support to go with the Skywrath. Sand King is like the most popular. Okay, they go with an Ogre. It's something similar. It's a melee hero with reliable stun. That's basically what you want with Skywrath.
Right.
Very good pairing.
Ogre has not been played as much as he was previously in about 6.82, and previously he was the pickup for a while, honestly, with the obviously the Fire Blast being pretty impressive. Ignite's not bad, and then Bloodlust to buff up the Wind Ranger seems a bit scary. The Lycan as well. So I like the idea from Ogre Magic. Plus he's tanky, he's hard to chew through. I like the idea of the hero. But there's the Earthshaker for HellRaisers, actually. Now maybe it is going to be an offlane Zeus or dual lane Zeus, like Earthshaker offlane, perhaps. We'll see. Gortz is going to be the Earthshaker, and he's the offlane player. So it is looking like it might be that offlane Earthshaker, which, again, NEL has seen frequently, but not really seen in pro play as much.
They might do the same thing as you mentioned, like similar to last game, where Earthshaker and Zeus go up top. With not so much the intention to win the lane, but more as to like kind of be annoying. And they definitely have very long range nukes that they can somewhat spam. Earthshaker, you can't really spam his nuke, but you can definitely spam Zeus's. So that might be their goal here, just to disrupt the supports and keep the supports in check, and like keep them staying up there to waste their time, so that Alpha Ninja gets his free farm in mid. Dread can maybe stack some camps for him, and then get your free farm in your Slark, because they will have better late game. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not so sure about that. I mean, Slark is a beast. You're going to have the help from Venge in the late game with your auras, but we can't forget just how much of a punch this Wind Ranger can pack with Ags plus, whatever. I forget sometimes, but man, Wind Ranger is actually a really big beast in the late game.
Yeah, Wind Ranger, we've seen it before, can take over a game without any real issues whatsoever. It just comes down to the start, getting that Aghanim Scepter up, and then at that point, taking down towers and taking down heroes, importantly, as well. Gortz is going to go boots first. He'll put up a ward here on the high ground, which I don't believe they spotted. Pycat did not see it, so they'll have vision here. Top rune spot, we have 3 heroes. Goddamn, Ninja, Gortz nearby. Down bottom rune spot, Dread's here alone for the time being, and it is going to be Artez in the safe lane. I've already thrown down this Observer ward here from the Bat Rider. I might have been mad, actually. Bat Rider has 7 tangos. And he also goes for the early ring of protection. No boots of speed coming out for the Bat Rider, but top rune spot. This might be where the action is. Gortz is going to look for a good Fisher, I imagine. Only has the one clarity. Maybe he doesn't want to throw it out willy-nilly, but he has the ability to do so. It's going to turn into a 4-on-3. Maybe HellRaisers just back up and secure the bottom rune spot. That might be the best idea.
Yes, forgive me just a minute. I was having some really bad lag, so I'm getting back in the game right now.
All right, no worries. You haven't missed anything. Ninja is going to take the bottom bounty rune. Ninja not going for one or the other. He's not going full, Wraithband, but he's also not saying, I need the bottle super early. He's going to just get a circlet just to give him a bit more right click. And he is going to be up against the Wind Ranger. Pycat has very high base damage, 59 plus 3 GG branches, and of course the null tally helping out as well. So that's the biggest thing. And he has a very good block as well in comparison. Pycat wind runs it. He's just going to harass Ninja right off the bat. And he even has Mad nearby to help up. He's going to probably throw an Ignite if possible. And Ninja doesn't want any part of that. So Ninja actually has to wait until the wave pushes in towards his tower.
Yeah, sorry, did I miss it? But did Pycat get the bounty rune?
Yes, he did.
I believe he did as well, because he ferried out his tango without any last hits at the time. So that's really big, because not only did he get that, but if you look at the lane position for Ninja, even with Mad not here, even if he wasn't here, I don't think he farms that freely in front of the face of Wind Ranger with the creeps on top of Wind Ranger's hill. So he's going to be under a little bit of pressure, but he's a good player. I know he'll recover from this.
Is actually bounced up. Magic Missile's going to go, and that's going to be your first blood. And Artez just kind of says, hello, let me jump on you real quick. And Nikwa just couldn't get out. There's no way he kind of saw that coming. Either way, he goes down. And that's the problem with that boots speed. Even up against the Slark, you could get caught out, and he did. It was not a problem, really, for HellRaisers to get that kill.
Yep, they're going to try to stack some camps. Unfortunately, that medium camp, that goddamn is right next to his mud golem, so
God,
that's going to be a little bit annoying for Ninja. As long as he can get these levels and then they stack some camps, Dread's going to stack this one. He's going to stack one himself. Goddamn's going to stack one. So this is good. This is like your road to recovery for your Shadow Fiend.
Ogre does get the bounty still. Gortz has actually blocked himself with his Fisher. Now he's out of mana. That is awkward. And Matt is just rotating mid. After Ninja is like, well, I guess I'm going to get ignited again. He has to be very careful. Matt is putting a lot of emphasis. Goddamn has a haste rune, and they're going to chase Matt, maybe for the time being, just throwing up a couple of arc lightnings. Matt's going to be like, I actually have really good base damage. I have 61 base damage. And Pycat's going to do some right click as well. The high ground, there's a miss coming out from Ninja. Does he have a CS yet? It's 1 CS to the 10 of Pycat. The emphasis is there, and Pycat now, they know that the road to victory relies on making sure Ninja gets stifled. Even if he comes back later, at least Pycat gets plenty of farm, and he's really not contested at all.
Yep, nice connector from Ake. Gork's not going to get really all that much. He actually uses his Fisher to try to block and get the creeps to stay there, so that gives him some time for this creep wave to come up. I'm wondering if Ake can pull it to the side right now. If he does, that's really going to hurt this Earthshaker. No, it looks like he is going to get a little bit of experience, so it's good for him. The one thing I see here that's kind of unfortunate, he might get dove here, actually. Mad might not even wait for the creep wave if they just kind of rush him. They should know that he doesn't have mana for Fisher.
I think the creep wave is about to push in, and then they'll go for it. Lotus pushing this in. He's not really, keeping their creepy equilibrium. They're going to go in. There's going to be the haunt. Mad's going to walk through. Fire Blast. That's your, not first blood, but still a very big kill early on in the game for Alliance. As Loda picks up the kill at Goritz. Nicely done. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're going to catch up Nikwa. Magic Missile. They get the pounce as well. They have the damage. The Dark Pact. Is it enough? Well, with that, the Chain Lightning, the Arc Lightning, it certainly is. And then the Veg gets the kill. And they counter ward, too, with the Lightning Bolt. Nicely played. There we go. HellRaisers turning it into a one for one, but also getting the ward down bottom as well.
Yeah, they don't really have the jungle all that stacked either for the Batrider. They're stacking the first camp, and it's Mud Golems that respawn. So this Batrider's not going to have a good time at all. Don't expect to see your 7-minute blink daggers that we've been seeing out of some Batriders lately. This is not one of those games. This is like a 15-minute Batrider blink game, honestly, with the way this is shaping up.
Yeah, he doesn't have boots yet. And by that time, like he'll be able to take at least this big camp and this medium camp here, but it's gonna take him some time. It will. Pycat in the middle lane going into Ninja getting dove. Fire Blast as Mad walks into the backside. He did not expect that. The raise comes in. It is too late. Pycat gets the kill. Mid lane is going about as good as it could for Pycat currently. His bottle, the only thing he doesn't have is boots. He has to drop a GG branch. He has them. Yeah, he has to drop the GG branch or use his tangos or something. I don't know. Pycat?
He'll probably
follow Crow.
He's just gonna ferry now. Okay. There is a smoke up from Earthshaker. I don't know they get this kill on Wind Ranger though. Even if you connect with all your races, they're only level 2 races. He's level 4, so Earthshaker's, yeah, he's not gonna be able to do anything.
Oh. Big quad stack for Nikwa. That was the camp they were stacked.
Oh, I missed that one.
It. Yeah, okay. I saw it earlier and I forgot to mention it. So this is where the farm is going to be. So he might not have boots. He also needs to be a little bit careful. He's sitting at 100 HP. And he'll stay alive, but still, though, look at all that gold that just came through. No boots still, though, but 1,300 gold. Will he go for the early blink if it gets get boots later? I don't think so. I think he'll get boots now, but
yeah, that would be funny to see him blinking and lasso someone like slowly waddle his way back to a hero.
There they are. All right, maybe he goes bottle as well, but then again, that's just another item in the way of getting towards your item. I think he's gonna walk back home after this stack. Meanwhile, they're gonna find Gore and see Fishers. Pycat's gonna use his power shot. No shackle, can't get there in time. Pycat again having a great time mid. Artez is getting free farm bottom though. He has 39 CS. He's going to be going for Midas. In fact, he has it. He just needs to ferry out the recipe. Could have been quicker had the courier been at the base. Mad might get dove here if he's not careful. Goddamn is diving deep as well, looking for an observer ward. I think this blocks the camp, which is nice. Yeah. But again, they have this camp to work with too.
His first ward they placed in mid got spotted. This one he just placed is nice, but I think it'd be better to actually have vision of the Batrider potentially taking the creep so that you could see how low he is, see his positioning, and maybe make a kill out after that. Gork's going to TP out, and he's going to get it because there's no way to cancel it, so nicely done by him. Artez, he's got his Midas, I think, flying out in here a second. He's actually like, wait on the courier, I got my Midas. Wait, no, he already has it. Okay, never mind. Someone else is buying something. Oh, he wants an Aquila as well. They're going to wrap around bottom. They have 2 members smoked up behind this ogre. It'll get popped here in a second. They know he's here. Here we go.
Oh, with a lightning bolt, Mad in trouble now, and nice kill. Well played. Good wraparound. HellRaisers are going behind enemy lines here. They're really just, they're diving deep to find these kills, and they are finding them. But, yeah, it is going to be the Slug with a minus. By the way, I don't know if this is still the case. Yeah, Loda has a lot of paper on him. Sitting at 2 recipes. The side shop efficiency indeed. It's the recipe of the medallion and the flat. It's pretty funny. Good stuff. I'm a fan.
Well, can you buy the, yeah, I forget too that, because I never do it, you can buy the chainmail on the side.
Right.
But he'll have that. Really good for him. That's tons of Roshan potential. The one thing I was going to mention that I'm not the biggest fan of Alliance's draft is that it's not one of those drafts where like your safe lane carry can go to the farm or go to the jungle and farm, and then one of your supports really takes it, because I don't think that Skywrath nor Ogre necessarily benefit from sitting in the lane and getting that huge core item like your Blink Dagger on Lion or you know, your Midas on Silencer, which we've seen sometimes. Like, it's not, these aren't the heroes that really function with just sitting in a lane and farming. They want to be running around and actually getting kills. So
yeah.
That being said, you kind of see Lycan just sitting in the lane, not taking the jungle away from the Bat Rider.
Yeah, Bat Rider, he's the one that needs items. He is getting close. This is looking maybe like a 10-minute Blink Dagger. It's not bad. You know, we thought, because we didn't see that camp here earlier.
Yeah, that was my fault.
He wasn't gonna have that fast blink, but that is not the case. He will have that fast Blink Dagger. Meanwhile, the tier 1 tower mid after Ninja is going to push Pycat off. It's actually in deny range. Pycat probably walks back up to try to deny this. Shackle shot does not latch onto after Ninja. Had it latched, then Pycat goes for that tower kill. Instead, it gets denied. All of that work put in. They can't get it done. Meanwhile, the rotation onto Pycat here. They're looking to jump in with Dread with the Magic Missile, followed up by maybe the Lightning Bolt, but they back up, actually. They'll TP top as the push is coming into the tier 1 tower here for Alliance. Fisher goes, doesn't really take them off the tower. There's going to be the concussive shot heading out to goddamn, but no, it's going to be the tower coming down for Loda. He did pop a shapeshift as well. I think he was trying to go on to Gortz. I'm not sure if that was the case, but that's going to be the tower kill that provides him his Vlads. His medallion's almost done, and there's the Blink Dagger from Nikwa. And suddenly Alliance are starting to look really good, and Pycat is going to be going for the slasher build. He has the point booster to start things off here. Gets to that early Aghanim Scepter, and I feel like this mid game, Alliance could start crushing. They could absolutely start crushing. It's going to be kind of scary for HellRaisers just to see what happens.
Yeah, Bat buys a blink as well. He actually goes top. He's looking for a kill on this this Earthshaker. I don't think that Loda had any intention to get the kill. I think he just wanted to make sure and ensure that he had, you know, more than haste movement speed to get the tower and get on out and get out of harm's way. Gorg, he is up to level 5, so it's not terrible. Doesn't really have that much farm. I was going to say, though, in the mid, when Pycat went for that Shackle, I'm surprised he didn't go for the actual just hero Shackle, because it was pretty much guaranteed in mid lane in that position. They're always going to hit a tree behind them. Got him. He spots out Pycat here. Here comes the blink from Nikwa, possibly. Doesn't even need... Oh, he actually gets stunned here by Gorg.
Yeah, he's still going to get last though. The lightning bolt's onto Dread. Dread in trouble. Gortz as well. Power shot right in the face. Executioner style from Pycat. Blows one up. Goddamn. As well as FNJ looking for the rebuttal kill on that poor Skywrath Mage, and they will find it. Pycat as well as Nikwa behind it in the lines. They're pretty low. Shackle onto the tree, but here comes Artez looking for a pounce, and he does find it just the tail, and is going to try to TP away. Lightning bolt, and then will cancel it. Turns into a 2 for 2. The biggest of the kills going into Pycat, which is very important. That's Artez picking that up. That Slark is now going to get close to his Shadow Blade. Picks up the Shadow Blade, not too far off from his Shadow Blade as well.
Nice attempt there, but Shackle Shot is only level 3. I think if it's level 4, the Zeus doesn't get there in time to bolt. Very unfortunate. But they do get the kill. And despite the fact that Gort died, I think it's really important that it took him so long to kill him. Like, first the initial Bat Rider blink, it was like a 300 range blink because he couldn't decide whether he wanted to just blink and ensure it right away. Oh, hold that thought. Bottom lane. Mad, he is actually going to cancel his own TP because he knew that the stun was coming out anyway. Ninja pumping an auto taps. The last raise is going to hit him. The Zeus ult with the attempt of the KS doesn't get it, but it still helps out.
It was a good try, but not quite there. And this is going to be a couple of kills actually going the way of HellRaisers. FNJ and Gortz now looking to maybe pressure into this tier 2 tower. No, but that's not the case. Ace Rune. HellRaisers may be in trouble. Focus fire, the raise is not enough damage, and HellRaisers. Nice swap from Dread up to the high ground. Power shot not going to connect. Goritz is going to get lassoed. Good fish, but it actually blocks in Dread. Mystic Flare misses. Neek was still on the hunt. So they'll get the bounty run as well for Zeus, but Goritz is actually going to survive. That would have been a huge kill on HellRaisers, but what a swap coming through to save his life from Dread. Sacrificing his own life, making sure he survives.
Yeah, it even surprised me, because I was like, why aren't you trying to channel the ultimate, get some more damage off? But the communication from HR was obviously there, because he was like just walking directly towards the Venge. Venge was saying, hey, come here, I can swap you, I can swap you. And really nicely done by both Dread and HellRaisers. It's not all about the Venge swapping, it's about the other player also realizing that where they need to walk to get into the proper position. So, well played by both parties.
Absolutely, and I'll keep him HellRaisers alive. He actually finished up the mech as well, which could have kept him alive as well. And now Artez and HellRaisers, two of the top 3 in net worth. But now with a Roche kill, Lycan as the Aegis, and this is what you see as a Lycan on the dire side specifically. Get that Aegis and now start snowballing, whether you get your Necro book, whether you go for maybe another item instead. This is when you try to start taking down towers, maybe even fighting just a little bit. And we'll see if Alliance can accomplish that within the next couple of moments here.
I mean, instinctively, when I look at HR's lineup, I just think it's a better draft. Because as they're approaching late game, it just seems way stronger to me. But then I also second guess myself. I'm like, but wait, don't forget, Wind Ranger is extremely strong in the late game just because of how much damage she outputs. But not only that, but Shackle Shot, like I said, is always relevant from the second it hits level 4 until the rest of the game. It never falls off in its effectiveness onto a hero. It's kind of like a mini black hole. Like, it's always going to be effective no matter what. Like, except it's just on a 1 hero, possibly 2. If you can get really lucky in the late stage of the game, but yeah, never count out this Wind Ranger.
This Wind Ranger is going to be huge. We saw it the other day. We saw it yesterday, I think, during that Aces Polar versus NIP game. Wind Ranger Shackle Shots going crazy. Artez picks up a DD and has Shadowblade. They'll trade tier 2 for tier 2. Top lane's taking a bit longer to take as HellRaisers are there in force, but bottom lane, you look at the tier 2 tower, it's already gone, and Alliance will keep pushing. They're like, we're going to force you back, and we're going to make you rotate early. And if Alliance wanted to go high ground, which I don't think is possible, they certainly could and try to force something out. Look at the focus fire. They're going to try to force a glyph. They're going to force TPs. They'll back up now. They're happy with what they've accomplished. They're not going to go for a fight. They're not going to try to push the high ground and lose too much out of it, but that's still really, really good for Alliance. Although that tier 2 did end up falling for Alliance the top lane. They forced out a glyph and they did some damage to the tier 3 tower in the process.
I think this is fine for HR though. Like, they're trading evenly, but the fact that they're trading when Alliance has 1, a more push-centric lineup, and 2, they have the Aegis, and they don't want to fight against the Aegis. I think that HR is more than happy to take trades like that. It's also buying time for perhaps the Earthshaker to get closer to Blink, which I guess he's not going to go for right away because he's going for build-up items into Tranquils into Soul Ring. So, like I said before, pretty bad farm on this Earthshaker, but I mean, he'll still at least be relevant with long-range Fisher nukes.
At least, yes, in the game, or at least net worth, I should say, is down to about 1,700. Even the Scarith Mage is more, which is not much. He's a null tally and a stick and boots of speed, so it's going to be a long road for you. You're going to get Blink Dagger. Luckily, his team is doing well enough, whereas FNJ and Artez are in a position that they might be okay. Goddamn, and the rest of HellRaisers being scattered out by these wolves. The biggest, I think, thing about these wolves is the fact that you could just send them, put them on move command, put them behind HellRaisers. It's actually so important. And that gives them so much vision. It's like a walking observer ward, practically. They know exactly what HellRaisers are doing right now. They know that there's about pretty much every hero bottom. Alliance will not come to contest this tier 1 tower because of this. They'll give it to HellRaisers. After NJ now picking up a Yasha, by the way, which is not something we see too often on Shadow Fiend, more and more recently. But it might just be a Manta, maybe a Y transitions into something later. We'll see how this transitions. Goddamn's gonna throw down on Observer Ward. It was not spotted out. Bycats, by the way. Oh, the last, so they see him. Goddamn, in trouble. Mystic Flare. Ancient Seal. Goodbye. Alliance get the kill easily. And they're looking to maybe head bottom to try to contest this tier 2, and they should. Matt's going to pop the Ignite. It's going to connect on HellRaisers. He has to be careful. He's going to walk back up for whatever reason, waiting for his team to help him out. They won't go any further. Pycat now does have the Aghanim Scepter.
Artez, courier.
Is he going to get the courier or no? He's going to find Nikwa and instead hits him once. He's going to pounce away. He's got a Shadow Dance as well. TP coming in. This time it'll be from Skyrath, but they can't catch him. He's too far off.
Oh, no. They put a sentry down just to see the Slark, and they found a fresh ward that was placed there, too. That's kind of unfortunate. I think that must have been maybe Zeus's ward, and which why he died. So, yeah, Necro 2 coming out for Lycan. Let's see here. Over the past month, 64% of Slarks have gone Midas first. Of those 64%, 67% went Shadowblade next, and 16%. Yeah, Blink is kind of fading out. We don't really see it as much anymore.
Yeah.
And I actually have to reference a streamer that maybe some of you have picked up on, Banana Slam Jamma.
Yeah.
Who, I have to be honest, I never really played Slark very much personally. Then I watched him play, and I actually got better, like watching him explain himself and why he would go for the Shadowblade over the Blink, and it makes a lot more sense. He says it's basically for, you can move around a lot easier, it does the X burst damage that you really need on Slark, and yeah.
Lasso, no, Nikwa was not ready for all of those heroes to be there, and he made a poor decision and tried to jump in. Nikwa goes down. Yeah, I think he was looking for a lasso. Gortz actually stays alive, although being very low in health. And HellRaisers now starting to turn this around, looking for this tier 2 tower. Again, it's so big for HellRaisers to take this game. They need to if they want to secure their second place spot in the playoffs. They'll take down the tower after Ninja getting it done. Alliance backing away. Pycat looking at a power shot. Shapeshift's got to go through the concussive shot. They pop the Necro. I think it's a Necro 2 coming out. Goddamn, taking a lot of damage to the Requiem going. Does it do anything? Not particularly. Meanwhile, they'll take down Matt on the backside. So 1-for-1. Goddamn got focused down. They tunneled him and he made sure he went down. Artez now going to get spotted out. Shackle shot. He dark packs it off though. He has Shadow Dance. He'll pounce to the low ground. But now Nikwa cannot find the lasso again. He just can't pull the trigger. Artez gets the Shadow Dance off. Out of mana completely. Sticking Napalm. They've got to hit a conch shot, but it's not available. The Ancient Seal coming through. Pycat doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He can't get up and look for that Shackle shot either. And what should have been maybe Alliance taking the fight turns into a 1-for-1.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really fast reaction there from the Earthshaker, which set it all up. And Loaded, despite the fact that he's running around with his Necro 2, the Alpha Ninja had a DD, so these auto attacks were doing a ton of damage to Lycan. I didn't see in the middle of that too if he also used his medallion, but you know, we always talk about how good it is for the negative armor, but it also applies the negative armor for yourself. I know it gives you 7 armor, so it kind of cancels itself out, but still, it takes that away when you use it. And with those auto attacks coming out from the DD SF, who went Manta, by the way, I think that's a great decision. You have to play a little bit more scared. Manta's really good this game because it dodges a couple of spells. You can get out of the silence without having to expend a big BKB charge or something like that. And the biggest thing that people don't realize is, for the same thing we just saw, when the Batrider initiates, if you pop that Manta, he can't just, like, guess, unless he's feeling very, very lucky. But most Batriders will just be a little bit more reserved and like, oh crap, he used Manta, I gotta back off. And then it stops the initiation, so... One thing that maybe look out for. The problem with that is we might see the same thing where if he blinks in, he's really going to be committed, and then the Manta comes out, and then maybe there's an Earthshaker nearby, and you're like, well, I guess I'm echoed, and I'm dead. So it's tough. It's not an easy Nikwa Batrider game. I don't want to make it sound like, you know, this should be him getting the kills. Absolutely not. This has not been easy. You have to deal with Shadow Dance like we talked about, and then of course the Manta style as you just discussed. I'm waiting for Pycat to get that Blink Dagger. He's not there yet. Power shot, but he heads the wrong way with it as Goddamn actually walks back down. Buys a Gem of True Sight. Gonna be huge. I'm sure he'll give that to Artez more than likely. Maybe to the Earthshaker. Artez is about to get a Scotty. Half a Ninja is gonna scout out some heroes here in the middle lane. That would be weird. And he'll proceed to take a nice little stack as well. Yeah, I was going to mention these, when you touch on the point of the wolves running around with people with move command, it's kind of like having a track on someone for a long time, and even longer time, except they don't even know it. Yeah. It's very, very strong. You can't, like, there needs to be maybe indication about that, but Shadowblade from Artez, he's looking for somebody. Will he find it? He sees a couple of heroes. Nikwa is the first that he's going to find. The pounces up as well. Forstaff not there in time. The Fisher connects. They get the kill. They want to fight. The Requiem's going to go. Nobody dead from it. Doesn't do that much damage. After Ninja takes the backlash coming out from the Necro Warrior going down. Gortz is going to walk in. Hat goes onto Matt. He's out of position. Mystic Flare not going to connect. Nice shackle shot, but it's only for retreat. Ake in trouble. Gets raised up. He'll fall. 3 down to the side of the Alliance. And HellRaisers, they turn the fray around. They're looking for more. Pycat on the run. They will not chase him down.
At least it looks like that. And they're going to head towards the tier 2 tower. And they'll try to bring it down as well.
Really nice stuff. Again, Slark is really good against the Batrider. And when Batrider blinks in like that, they had vision of him with the Slark, and you can't force staff away from the Slark's pounce, so you kind of have to sit there and wait. You don't want to cast your ultimate because Slark will just either dark patch it off or probably pass his ult. Here comes an ultimate finally on Goddamn. Will they even get the kill? The swap comes out. Mad comes in, gets a nice multicast, but it's not enough.
Mad gets blown up by the enchant totem. The right click of Ninja. He's gonna get silenced. His Manta's not there. He just used it. Pycat was so close to getting the kill, he couldn't find it. Gort's now gonna try to help his team retreat. He might be the sacrificial lamb as, oh, beautiful 4-man Fisher gets off, and HellRaisers will look to actually just retreat. Gort's Shackle not gonna, oh, it does connect. That creep, he's right next to it. He's getting Mystic Flare, and he will be the only hero to go down on the side of HellRaisers. Artez walking back in. He's got a gem, and not only that, but he has a Scotty as well. Misses the pounce. He missed the pounce, and now he's going in too far. He's gonna have to Shadow Dance. Zeus still gonna come through as well. Ake about to go down. Artez, though, gonna get chased down by Loda. Mana Drain, he'll try to TP away, and Artez should survive, although it does take a lot of damage in the process of doing so, TPing away, I should say. And
yeah,
it's a bit closer than he wanted.
It looked like a bad pounce, but I think what happened was he knew that there was a sentry there, or he knew that he was going to be revealed with the sentry. Yeah. So he knew that they knew that he was there, if that makes sense. And he was just trying to he's trying to close the gap as quickly as possible. He didn't really care so much about landing the pounce. Loda doesn't have the Metamorphosis up just yet. Or the shapeshift.
Next gonna go. Shackle not gonna connect, but Dread will fall. Ninja clears up the Necro Warrior. And the Alliance are backing up. They don't want to take this fight at Roche. If they were to die here, that might be, I wouldn't say game losing, but it's certainly not great. Power shot going through as well. Nikwa's nearby with Mad. They're getting ready. They have the champion of the high ground in the Batrider in terms of the Roche pit. This guy is quite good at getting heroes out of the pit with the lasso. Lasso. Almost got Goritz. And they might actually get the Roche here. Shackle shot's gonna go through, and HellRaisers backed up. They let him have it.
Yep, so nice Roche on pick there. They're actually gonna blink in and use a smoke. Look for a kill. His blink's on cooldown though because he blinked in and smoked his team, so he's not gonna have the initiation for another 5 seconds. They're pinging out Gork. They see him. He's so close to a blink dagger too. They're not gonna just hit. There we go.
Not anymore. Last is gonna go in. Power shot. That brings him 300 gold down further than where he was. Shackle shot.
Oh no!
Artez, this might be it if they can get the kill on Artez. He's gonna get silenced up. He's in trouble. Pops the Shadow Dance. He will survive for the time being. Buyback coming in from Goritz. He wants to get back into the fray, but now everyone from Alliance backing up. Maybe a bit of a hasty buyback for Goritz. He will not find anybody. What a shackle shot coming out from Pycat. Beautifully done.
Oh, that could have been game-winning. I mean, that was so huge if they just had enough damage onto him before the Met came out and his ulti came out and what have you. That really sucks for Earthshaker too, because if we just saw it there, he was literally at 1,700 gold, and now he's at 700. He just lost 1,000 gold. He was so close to his blink, and now he's back where he started about 15 minutes ago.
The struggle is real. Someday I'll get my blink dagger, guys. Wait for me. Somebody help.
On the bright side, even if he had blink, it's not like he's doing that much damage anyway, because he's still only level 9.
Yeah. So actually, it helps him get up to the level 10, maybe the level 11. He gets that level 11, then it's fine. Then he gets the blink dagger, then the level 2 Echo Stun comes out. Somebody just picked up an item. I think it was AJ buying a Scotty. Yeah, that's huge. This game could go either way right now, man. If you look at the net worth graph, HellRaisers have the advantage currently. Lasso onto Ninja. They'll bring him up to the high ground here. Mystic Flare, he's going to Manta out. And he'll just try to TP home. He's not going to make it. The Flame Break doesn't push him down either. Shackle shot, and Pycat will clean this up quickly. Oh, the raise. Oh my God, that was bad-mannered. Oh my Lord.
So much shame. That's honestly a misplay from Ake. There's no reason he should have died there. Doesn't really matter. You know what? Maybe it was tactical, because it gave him more gold for a streak, right? So he's like, here, take this dominating streak, kill me, and then we'll take the gold back for our carry. Perfect.
That must be it.
It must be it.
Wind Ranger, Pycat maybe building the Daedalus next. He's 4.5k. He could buy the Chrysalis if he wanted to. I'm not sure what he's really waiting for. But he'll power shot and His Wind Ranger guide was posted March 24th, 2015. First professional Dota 2 match with Ag's first Wind Ranger, March 27th. Wasn't that the game that Pycat was playing? No, it's BKB, okay, by the way. Yeah. So, that was the Pycat game. Equa denies the bottom tower. He goes for the BKB, and I suppose that's fine. No mobility for Blink Dagger. That's what he said, yeah. Thank you, /XC.
It's good. He theoretically mitigates all damage no matter what, because he's going to have magic immunity and he's going to have wind run at the same time. So
yes,
they theoretically can't do anything to him once he has this up and ready to go.
Until there's an MKB, which is very far away for both Ninja and I think for Artez. Although Artez does have 3.8k gold. I don't know if he goes for MKB next though. Speaking of BKBs, Alekin picks up one for himself as well. I think this game honestly could go either way. We talked about the late game prowess of HellRaisers, but you've touched on this so many times in that you can't count out a Wind Ranger and how much damage she can do in the late game. He still has a long way to go, obviously, until you have Daedalus, perhaps maybe a Maelstrom if you're feeling lucky.
I like Daedalus MKB. I think it's just a ton of sheer damage onto one target. The one problem, another popular choice, of course, is the Maelstrom, but usually you want to get that early rather than later.
Yeah.
So she is very single target oriented. That is the problem with her. She doesn't do a lot of damage to multiple targets at once. But to that one hero she is zoning out, she will just destroy it for the shackled.
Well, they're gonna push down mid. They still have the Aegis for about just 30 to 40 seconds from now. Loda will start things off by popping the Howl. They even bloodlusted him. That's frightening. Pops the Necro Warriors. And they clear Group Wave, or rather, I think it was an Observer Ward out. I think it might have an Observer Ward nearby there. Focus Fire, this tower is dead. They'll glyph it too, which is surprising. They Fisher. Nico almost finds the last target, can't quite get there. They get a couple of right clicks with the Scotty off, and Nico's kind of thanking his lucky stars at this point, because he was very close to maybe getting caught out. Now, no smoke from HellRaisers. They're just going to walk straight down. Necro Archer's going to give some vision. Now they smoke up and raise twice in smoke. Artez looking for Nico, couldn't quite find that pounce. Then he dark packs the conch shot off. And HellRaisers are just going to keep pushing down mid. FNJ still smoked up, by the way. Now finally right clicks and he gets out of it, so you have to imagine that HellRaisers are actually, they're just kind of going to the high ground here. The lasso.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nikwa couldn't find the target because of the Manta style. FNJ plays it beautifully. Nikwa has to buy back. So for no real reason, HellRaisers are able to force out a buyback, then TP home in the process of leaving. That's pretty big.
Yes. Oh, it feels so good to see that come into play. That's exactly what I was talking about, though. If you're fast with your fingers when he blinks in, you kind of panic when you're bad, like, what do I do? And that's exactly what he did. Very nicely played. There's tons of damage coming out from him, too. And they force a buyback from him. So they kill him, force a buyback. His item progression as far as going towards that BKB is now stifled. And they're going to get some more levels, more farm. Gorik, he got it! Finally got his Blink Dagger, 30 minutes in, but it's still pretty good because he's got level 2 of his ultimate now, which is where the damage really starts coming in.
Level 2 Echo Slam ready to go. And level 4 Aftershock as well. Time. Sports is gonna be a force to be reckoned with here. There's a couple of Observer Wards here from the Dire Squad. They might scout them out. Zorta still have the gem. Absolutely. Building towards a Butterfly next, by the way. Alright, HellRaisers and Alliance, we're reaching that pinnacle point where anything could happen. Buyback status, who's got it? Just the Lycan here on the side of Alliance, and it looks like HellRaisers are sick of this. They want to try fighting, and they know that they have the advantage. And Aloda is going to get caught out. He's going to get pounced as well. He's got Shapeshift. He's going to pop the Necro. Now BKBs. So BKB has been forced. Artez. Now with his team behind him, he has no real way that they can bring him down. Nice. Oh, he Manta dodges it. Swap out. They'll lasso up Dread. Lasso's already gone. Or Echo Slam comes in onto pretty much everybody. The Zeus sold HellRaisers. They'll lose two, but now they're going to try to keep going. They buy back on Lycan. He was the only one to have it besides Pycat. The lasso coming through. They already used it. Artez backing away. That's a big fight coming out from HellRaisers, despite losing 2 heroes. The forced buyback is very big. It's very, very big.
Definitely a 1-5 for HR. Getting the buyback expended from Lycan. Lycan, I could feel it too in these fights. He lost his streak too. And I was watching him the whole time, and he played it correctly, but he's just so limited based on what's going on in the fight. Like, he BKBs Necros. It's hard to really zone in on a target, like, just because of the nature of his surroundings. Like, which target do you go on? Gork can always stun and kind of disrupt your creeps. He's very reliant on his creeps too. Like, if his creeps die or get stunned up, his damage output is kind of unimpressive. So that's kind of scary. Also, with the Batrider, he initially wanted to go use the lasso onto the, I think, Earthshake? No, the Zeus. And the Zeus got swapped out, and he actually ended up using the lasso onto the Venge, which Venge I'm sure is totally fine with having.
Yeah, no, because goddamn got the Zeus ult off. Pycat's gonna win run away. Lightning Bolt coming through. Artez pounces away. And it feels like HellRaisers, they're not necessarily sick of the game, but they're feeling so
themselves?
good right now. Yeah, they're feeling themselves. I was looking for the word. I don't think you were helping me find it. Here we go. HellRaisers are going to push down to the mid lane. Tier 3 tower now is about to salted, and they're not really going for Roche. Not that it's up in a couple of seconds, but they want to force a fight because they know there's only one buyback in the game, and it's Pycat. Because no buyback for the Batrider, no buyback for the Lycan. They're just going to kind of slowly siege this. They Manta out. Make sure they don't take that Arcane Bolt damage. Illusion's not really doing any damage to the Tier 3 tower. Affinity goes back in. He'll raise up the creep wave. Double raise it. Send the Illusion back in. And I honestly think that they could head to Roche, then finish this game, or at least try to finish the game if they wanted to. Ignite will go through, bouncing twice, hitting up with the creep wave first and foremost. The slow siege. We've reached that point in the game, man.
I don't blame them for sticking it out here in mid and kind of waiting on Roche, because one, Shadow Fiend's Butterfly is coming out very soon. Two, it's always very risky fighting Roshan against Batrider just because of the added vision that he has with Firefly. That is the scary thing. Not to mention they can scout with wolves. They are in dire position, so it's a little bit easier to get in and out. But I think they're going to wait on this. Let's check the gold of Affinity. He actually bought the Talisman of Evasion and then sold it. So maybe he really wants to secure the buyback.
Artez's lasso, this could be big. The Ancient Seal, Mystic Flare, they blow him up. He's dead, doesn't have buyback. Goddamn's gonna get shackled as well. The Lions turn the fight. 2-0. They'll head to Roche down, they'll take it. That Aegis might have, that fight might have just prolonged the game so much further. Big kickoffs from Alliance.
Yeah, I don't think HR can fight this at all, too. They're at least having a little bit of pressure up top, but yeah, Butterfly purchased by a Shadow Fiend. Easy Roche on here. Watch how fast it dies with negative armor and Pycat too.
Now
so
Pycat
it'll be very good for them.
Well.
Pycat, he's up to 8, 1, and 6. He'll have his full Daedalus here relatively shortly too. And he even picks up the Aegis. Cheese goes on Loda.
This is huge. Pycat is the Aegis. He does have buyback though, so that's kind of surprising. Maybe I thought they would give the Aegis to Loda, but at the same time, Aegis on Lycan is not great if you've already shapeshifted BKB and Necrode, so I think that's fine. Cheese is probably the better item in this situation.
That's a good point.
HellRaisers trying to split push in the top lane. They're smoked up. They don't have Artez. Goddamn's walking back. He has Zeus ult though. That's really... He doesn't need to be in the fight, but it would certainly help with Lightning Bolt. They're going to jump in Echo onto Ake, and... I mean, it's only Ake though. It's a nice kill, but... At least it's something they get. Echo Slam is a pretty long cooldown though, 2 minutes. They do a lot of tier 3 tower damage though. Shackle Shot, so that the illusions are gonna get blown up here, and I think
it's fine.
Groups.
Getting kills like that when you're outnumbered and the other team has an Aegis is risky, but if you can get it, it's a nice little extra added gold boost. So that's good for them.
Well, for Alliance now, they have more time to work with.
I will tell you though, this game will be a hell of a lot easier if somehow Dread could get level 16. Getting that extra range in the swap is so big in the late game, especially against a Batrider. It just makes your positioning a little bit easier. But I just don't see him getting that anytime soon. He's kind of walking around. He's not really farming. You don't really want to be farming with Venge. You don't want to be all by yourself at the same time against the Batrider too, so... It's going to be hard. I feel like the only way he's going to get these levels is by winning a fight. And if he's winning a fight, well, he doesn't need the levels anyway, so...
Yeah. Even if you do, damned if you don't, sort of. And for now, Alliance, like we said, they have so much room to work with here because of the Aegis and Cheese. I'd be very surprised to see HellRaisers try to fight into this. Do you think HellRaisers put the pressure on still, even though they have to fight into the Aegis and Cheese? Maybe not.
I wouldn't fight into that, definitely. I mean, they could go for picks easily, with the same kind of idea that they did last time, starting things off with an Earthshaker Ultimate or what have you. But no, they can't push on the high ground.
The biggest problem for me right now with HellRaisers is that time period where they forced up those 2 buybacks is gone. I mean, Batrider has his buyback back. Lycan has his. Loda has his in a minute. So all of that early advantage they had just a couple of minutes ago is now, dust in the wind at this point. Artez might get scouted out here. He'll kill a wolf quickly. Firefly, can they get the lasso?
You see him.
He does get the Shadow Blade off, but I believe they have vision. They have a gem up, and Artez is going to die again, and that's the gem on the deck. He does have buyback, but that's, again, another huge kill for Alliance. At this point, they'll try to push down a lane, maybe force out a buyback, and maybe back off. We'll see.
He went for the Shadow Blade play instead of Dark Pact plus maybe ulti or something. And it just really, really sucks. So this is why Batrider's so... Oh, hold that thought. Nice done there coming out from the Earthshaker, but... I mean, Batrider, you can have a couple of botched initiations, you can have a relatively slow Blink Dagger and feel like you're not on par with where you need to be, but it doesn't matter if you can reach to the mid to late game. This is why this hero is so good. Just taking out a hero from the fight instantly with not really too much fuss.
Look at that tower damage from Pycat. Destruction. The tier 3 tower glyphs available, but oh my god, is it falling quickly. The echo onto Pycat, but it's just the Aegis. He'll force himself back up to the high ground. The shapeshift goes in. Meanwhile, top lane, the Rax is getting assaulted by HellRaisers. Down bottom, Loda's ratting it up as well, looking for the melee Rax. We've hit the critical point. Loda BKBs, pops the cheese. They'll back away. Zeus ult was used. The lasso comes in, but swap out immediately from the beautiful play from Dread. They will take the melee Rax, but guess what's happening top? Athen Ninja gets a full Rax, whereas only the melee Raxes have been taken mid and bottom for Alliance. Somehow, Athen Ninja gets in, snipes the buildings, and gets out scot-free. And suddenly, everybody has buyback now in this game. It's gotten to a weird point. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's very awkward. I actually think that's really good for HR. Trying to fight in 4v5. I mean, wait, did they buy back on the Slark? I don't think they did.
No, I don't think they did. They didn't.
Oh, Gorak died. I missed that, but it was bottom.
As well.
They used a 9-second BKB. BKB purchased just by Batrider 2. They're pursuing Pycat here. Goddamn, trying to find him. Artez finds Ake. They could somehow get this kill on Pycat. He has no blink. Oh, he misses the bolt.
Oh, but
has Yules, though.
He has the Yules, and now Pycat in so much trouble. He's going to fall. He will get the kill on goddamn. Look, the crit's coming out. That poor Zeus gets melted, but Artez picks up a much-needed kill onto the side of Pycat. They get the top Rax. And HellRaisers, we talked about how beastly they can be in the late game. They might even be able to force out a buyback here, Pycat, by just pushing in bottom. Even though they don't have the Zeus or the Earthshaker, this might be their time.
It's very scary forcing things like this, though. Like, it's a good idea forcing buybacks, but against a Batrider, it's very easy to just use the lasso and then in conjunction with the quick buyout. And that's what they're trying right now. Firefly is going up. He's got about half duration onto it. Yeah, this is a smart play from HR. They shouldn't try to... I don't think you want to force buybacks in this kind of position against a Batrider. Normally, you would always want to. Yeah, normally you would always want to try to force that buyback. If maybe one hero dies on your side, it's totally fine. Maybe even two. Not against a Batrider. It's just too risky.
Agreed. Batrider, if he was the one that was dead, then it's fine. And the worst thing you have to worry about is maybe a jump in and Fire Blast or jump in and Shackle Shot, which actually is pretty good, I will say. But for now, we're in a very, very strange position where this game could go honestly either way. The thing for HellRaisers that they don't have to worry about anymore is the Aegis and Cheese are both gone. That's 1,030 damage in 1 second. Well, that's something else.
In
so if
1
you can
second.
Stay alive. If he can just stay alive, that's it. Basher now for the Slark completed up. So that's a pretty big item. The Pistol Blade would be huge this game, maybe for either Pycat or for Lycan, who, by the way, we didn't talk about it, but Loda has picked up his Assault Cuirass. So he can push quickly. He can help kill heroes quickly. HellRaisers are going to smoke up. They're going to head to the enemy jungle. They can wrap in. They could go top. There's no ward there. There's no sentry. There's no tower. This could be... If Alliance walk out right now, which it looks like they're very patient and not doing so.
I don't know about this play. For one, they're so close on to Satanic for Shadow Fiend. They have a Basher just sitting on the courier waiting to be used for the Slark. So I think that they should pick up their items and not force anything right now. I think what they can do is get the Basher on Slark, have him farm up a little bit more gold so he has buyback. Farm up the Satanic, maybe buy back gold for the SF2. By that time, Roshan should be up. If they get the Roshan, then they can end the game. And I think that's their window of what they should be looking at.
Agreed. Nope. Roshan's gonna be the biggest thing for both teams, honestly. Satanic now done. I think HellRaisers just take the slow, honestly. Yeah, I don't see them. They don't need to push the pace. iCat has 4.1k gold. He could maybe save for buyback plus get a blink pretty soon. He has 2.8k surplus, so he could easily buy a blink dagger without any real issue. Or MKB works too, yeah, that's fine.
I am really surprised in general that he hasn't bought a blink yet. I think it's really good on Wind Ranger, and
I agree.
It is a little bit surprising to me. So just the fact that he hasn't bought one yet leads me to believe that he's not going to buy one. If he's not getting a blink dagger, I think MKB is paramount. I think he really needs it against the butterfly for both the Slark and the Shadow Fiend.
Pistol Blade will be inherently the next option for Artez. Now with the Satanic for Shadow Fiend, there's not much else you really need. Sell your treads, get bots, and then pick up one more item. And that item, MKB perhaps? I don't know, because Wind Run is the biggest issue maybe, but MKB probably is fine for Alpha Ninja. I don't know what else you get on the Shadow Fiend at this point.
You can get your own Daedalus. You can get an Assault Caress.
I think that's good, because who else is going to build that this game, actually? They don't have an AC builder here. Yeah, actually AC is probably huge.
Yeah, he has a lot of options. I mean, he could also still go for like a sheep if he wanted to. Just to sheep up the Wind Ranger. Right there. Here comes possible action onto Alpha Ninja bottom. Batrider's there, but the rest are kind of trailing slowly behind. Well, Pycat's somewhat in range. Same idea right there. He uses the Manta. Wasn't in range, but still, good idea from him.
He was not very close for that lasso. There's no way they were going to catch him, but Pycat will Wind Run away. And now all of a sudden, Roshan, they know that it's going to be up soon, if not already. And HellRaisers make a big move together as a squad, moving as 5, looking for a potential initiation, or at least just to take Roshan altogether. That means that they've got to be careful for both squads, really. Again, you talked about it earlier on. Don't really want to have to be able to test Rosh when there's a Batrider available. The king of Roshan, the king of the pits, if you will. Actually, I think that title might be argued by a Storm Spirit, but...
Sorry, what? I missed that?
Which one's better, Storm or Batrider, and when it comes to Roshans?
Jeez, I don't know. They're both very strong.
Yeah.
On Dire, Batrider is ridiculously good, but I mean, Storm gives you vision too. It just depends. They both function. I think Storm functions a little bit better in nighttime, whereas Batrider is really good in daytime.
They see Nico with that Wave of Terror. I don't think so. He blinked out anyways, but they should know that it's up. I don't know if Dread actually, if the tail end of the Wave of Terror caught it, but it is up. This is such a big fight here, such a big contention point. There's buyback for every Alliance hero. HellRaisers don't have that luxury, but they have the luxury of buyback on their 2 big heroes, Shadow Fiend and the Slark. And Alliance, this is a dangerous play. They smoked up Artez, walked right for the haste rune. Dark Packs, Nikwa pops the BKB, getting low. Fisher, not going to block anybody. And now we're back to even. Now the swap out, they want Nikwa. Will they find him? He forces himself away. Fire Blast. Actually under Artez, zoning the rest of the squad out. And they can't get anybody. Another even engagement. A couple of abilities used, a couple of BKBs popped, but nothing too crazy. And HellRaisers are going to head into the pit. They want this. Necro Warrior, Goritz is in trouble. And he's about to fall. He's going to force himself away. They do actually clean up all of the Necro units. Goritz is very low, though. That's the problem. Goddamn Force Staff. Loda pops the BKB. Has to run away. Gotti doing work. Shackle Shot not connecting. Artez looking for Matt. Can he get a bash proc? Matt in trouble. Matt is behind enemy lines, and he's gonna fall, it looks like. Meanwhile, the tier 4 tower assaulted, and they're actually gonna have to TP back. They have to give up the roach to HellRaisers. That's huge.
Yeah, I think that HellRaisers are actually communicating so well. It's really hard to actually see that as an observer because you can't obviously hear what they're saying to each other, but they're all walking in conjunction. They're responding to one another very, very quickly. You can just tell by watching them. And they're playing very, very well as a team. Like when to back up, when to help this guy, go for this target instead of that target, and they drop what they're doing and then they switch it based off of who needs help. And it's really great to watch that. So really nice team play, team coordination coming around from HR. I do have to say, I think that was a little bit of a blunder by the Bat. It should have been obvious that the Dark Pact was coming out. Maybe he was basing it off of the fact that he got several of, I don't know, what seemed obvious to him at the time, Bat Rider lassos onto the Slark, that he wasn't going to Dark Pact, but that one seemed obvious because that haste rune was the focal point of that fight. Everyone was looking at it. Slark was walking slowly out of it. It wasn't like he was trying to sneak by and grab it and run away. He was walking slowly at it. He knew that they should have known that he wanted them to go on him. So that Dark Pact just totally owned that lasso right there.
Bait, if you will, coming out from the Slark. I will say this for HellRaisers, they don't have any, they just got their 2 buybacks on both the Shadow Fiend and the Slark. And that is, I think, maybe the most important thing. Buyback status. 4 of Alliance's 5 members have it. They lose this fight, though. It might not matter. We'll see. Up into the area, Artez, they see him. They're going to lasso him up. He's got cheese. He Dark Packs it off. Now silenced up. Pops the cheese. He needs the Shadow Dance. He's still silenced. Gets shackled up, and he's dead. And you have to back up now if you're on the side of HellRaisers. Af and Ninja is kind of up and alone here. They have to leave immediately. Nikwa with no lasso, who's already used it. That is a big fight, a big defense from Alliance. Seeing and spotting out that Slark, who was just Shadow Bladed there. They'll kill a Necro 3. Meanwhile, Magic Missile goes. Dread's going to get caught out. Nikwa very low and very close to dead, but he's not going to fall. They see, goddamn, they might chase after him. Instead, Mad's looking for Af and Ninja, pops the flutter, and Mad will not be able to connect with him. They'll turn their attention elsewhere. Goritz was looking for Fisher, couldn't find it. And everybody's backing away at this point. Even Goddamn's got a TP out, it looks like. Power shot, not the right direction for Pycat.
Yeah, maybe at this stage of the game, if you're Slark, you really needed that BKB. Just, I mean, you can Dark Pact the lasso, but then after that, if you don't have your Shadow Dance up, there are just plenty of ways to stop you from casting your spells and running around. You got multiple stuns, Shackle Shot, stun from Ogre, you got the silence from Skywrath, so it's not all about just using the Dark Pact for the lasso. There's other things to worry about too, so I think he needs a BKB. MKB picked up here for Pycat, that's huge. Daedalus plus MKB, so much damage. Might see it here.
Ninja is going to get lassoed. Goritz is going to get blown up. Ninja alone. He's going to... Beautiful Manta dodge, and that Shackle Shot. Absolutely fantastic. And they get the kill on Nikwa because of it. Finally respawning is Artez. Aegis reclaimed in 2 minutes. This game's turned topsy-turvy. It's 50 minutes in, and we don't really know who's going to come out on top. Crazy.
Do you see that damage, though, from Windranger?
Yeah.
Windranger. God.
It was pretty insane.
I can never, whenever I say the name, before I say it, in my mind I'm thinking, which one should I say? Because I'm still more comfortable saying Windrunner, but I know it's supposed to be called Windranger.
Sorry, man.
Thank you.
Some time. We'll get there. MKB is the choice for the Shadow Fiend, by the way. FNN is just going right into the tier 3 tower. He wants it. Force out a buyback and Nikwa. This is what we were talking about earlier. Swapping to Matt, forces himself out, but it's not far enough, and he'll fall. Gems on the deck as well. Slark grabs Pycat.
Oh no.
Lane. And now he's in trouble though. He's gonna get silenced up. Mystic Flare, they blow him up. Ike gets the solo kill, but the Rack's bottom. It's about to fall. They force out the buyback from Nikwa. Ninja now going toe to toe with Loda. They'll get the lasso on him. Does he still have the Aegis? Absolutely. And they just don't do enough damage. And Nikwa falls immediately. This might be it. Loda in trouble as well. The Zeus ult, the Magic Missile. Loda doesn't have Shapeshift. Loda will have buyback, and he might have to use it. Pycat, unfortunately, does not. It's a full set of racks gone in that bottom lane. HellRaisers about to secure themselves a second-place spot here in the group stages. Ake gonna get raised up. They just needed 1 game for Alliance. They couldn't grab it. Loda's the only survivor. And they're going to lose almost everything. The last Rex, mid-tier 3 tower, it's gone. It's blown up. That kill on Pycat was enormous. And HellRaisers secure themselves a spot, not yet, but soon, to the winner's bracket, at least early on here in Dota Pit Season 3. Beautifully done so far.
Yeah, this is going to be game over. I mean, the Windrunner... Oh my god, I actually did it again. I totally didn't mean to say that.
Windrunner.
But the Windrunner's respawning, but it's just not going to beat enough time. There comes an ulti on to Loda. Shackle shot hits 2,
nice.
Actually.
Nice.
We'll see what... Oh my god, the damage from Pycat is insane. He's trying to do something, trying to do whatever he can, but he's also taking a lot of damage too. There comes a Dark Pact, of all things, is actually the thing that cleans him up. GG well played's coming out. Very nicely played by HR. They take the series 2-0, which I think at this stage of the game, just because of how well Alliance has been playing, we would call an upset. But you know, my overall impression of what I've seen here today is, I think Alpha Ninja is fucking good, man. I think he's a really great player.
Yeah, he's legit.
He never crumbled under pressure. He had such a hard early time in the mid game, or sorry, in the middle lane, and he kept his composure. I just watched him very, very closely in these fights, and he just played perfectly in almost every single engagement. So, really impressed with that guy, Alpha Ninja.
Unbelievable series from HellRaisers. If you look at the odds, they were very against them from the get-go, really. Again, all Alliance needed to do was take a victory off of HellRaisers, split the series 1-1. They go down in both games. That provides, guess what, HellRaisers, the second place spot. They'll be heading to the winner's bracket at the start of the Season 3 of Dota Pit playoffs. We'll have a break up until then. Unbelievable way to end the group stages, which has been, honestly, one of the best group stages, one of the best tournaments already that I've ever casted, I've ever witnessed. So many comebacks, so many amazing games, and it's all been an absolute joy to cast. You guys that have watched and supported Dota Pit from the...
At least, you know, for their side and whatnot, but it was very, very good. It's so funny because I often see Zeus when they goes mid. Usually they have a good time. There's never really a bad matchup. I talked about how it's versatile and you can see him in different roles, which we saw last game. We saw the 4-position Zeus, and it always still seems to have an impact. Like every game I watch it, whether it's mid or off lane or even support, they still have a giant impact with good levels and just the ability to scout out the enemy team with your ulti. And we saw that last game from Goddamn.
Yeah, honestly, the start for Goddamn was so poor. Him as well as Gortz had a really tough time in that off lane. Mad killed them over and over and over again, and it didn't end up mattering because he got the level 6. He started getting his Zeus ults off, and the Zeus ult plus the Sonic Wave from the Queen of Pain absolutely blew up Alliance. That was enough so that they could create enough space for Artez to get farmed, to get to the Radiance, and then he took over the game unsurprisingly. This game, they're going to go for something a bit different. They pick up the Slark second. Not sure how I feel about that choice, but Alliance go for the Lycan, and they also have Batrider for Nico, one of his better heroes. HellRaisers will go for the Vengeful Spirit. Sniper first ban from HellRaisers is a pretty smart ban, as Pycat's been playing it all the time. And some interesting picks coming through here in this ban, or first pick phase.
Yeah, and then 2 of those bans too, from HellRaisers, the Wisp and the Trent. This is what I talked about, banning out things from Alliance that they're comfortable with, these defensive kind of healing support heroes. The last one that we know of is Dazzle, which actually would be quite good against Slark. It'd be good to buff up your Lycan's damage and then reduce the armor of the enemy team. So that's maybe something to think about. Skywrath Dazzle as a support duo, not the most typical. Normally you want to see some kind of stun with Skywrath, so like an SK, another kind of good roamer, maybe even Rubik this game, not
Earthshaker.
Okay. Earthshaker's actually a very good pickup here if they wanted to. Wind Ranger, normally see it as a core, and I gotta tell you, Pycat's Wind Ranger is pretty damn impressive. So we'll probably see him play that in the mid. Loda playing the Lycan up top. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, could be Earthshaker, could be Sand King. I just mentioned Dazzle because I know how well they've been playing with Dazzle lately. So I think that's still not out of the question.
They've got a couple of options there with that support, but as you mentioned, Pycat's mid Wind Ranger pretty great. Goes for the Slashers build, or at least he has gone for the Slashers build in the past, which is, I think, straight Ags into Daedalus. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I think that's the build, at least in terms of itemization.
All right, who is Slasher and what does his build? I don't know anything about this guy.
Well, he's a guy that he's I don't want to call him a pup star, but he's very high in MMR, and he's streamed a lot recently, and he's come up with really different crazy builds and builds that you wouldn't think would work on certain heroes, and he's very in depth with his commentary. I think he's Swedish. I might be wrong about that though. Danish. Okay, sorry about that. And Shadow Fiend now for HellRaisers, by the way. But yeah, that's what he does. He was a pro in Dota 1, so.
Okay.
So hopefully that gives you a better idea. If you just search Slasher's Way on YouTube, you'll find some of this build stuff, I think.
Slasher, is it like AS? Like Slosser?
Slash.
Okay, I do recognize that name actually, because I remember there was a name like that. I think it was Slasher. Where it was like annoying to look at because you're like,
Slosser,
that shouldn't be spelt that way.
I don't know why I say Slasher, but it's Slosser, yeah. I didn't notice that. I guess I'm just dyslexic.
Yeah, no, I think he says Slasher too. Yeah, that's the thing.
But it's just spelled wrong.
Yeah.
All right, well.
But, all right. Shadow Fiend picked up here for HellRaisers. I know that they play it well too. It's been a long time since I've cast them personally, but I remember them playing it a lot, and they did some good things with this. And Alpha Ninja, I assume he's their mid player. Artez playing the Slark. Alpha Ninja's been quite impressive the times I've seen him, so
yes,
expect good things from him.
Now, if you look at HellRaisers, they really do need their offlane hero. Zeus is probably supporting, and Alliance need their last support. I think if HellRaisers are, I would personally ban Earthshaker here, but they go for the Witch Doctor, which is fine as well. I think Alliance could go Earthshaker, they could go Dazzle, which we've talked about. There was another here you mentioned, I think, Sand King, maybe. We'll see if they go for that. There's a lot of options here for Alliances. We're about to get underway. The draft almost completed here for the last game. Excited.
A lot of these options would work. Like Earthshaker could roam on him quite effectively with Skywrath onto the Shadow Fiend. That is, it's just a good overall support to go with the Skywrath. Sand King is like the most popular. Okay, they go with an Ogre. It's something similar. It's a melee hero with a reliable stun. That's basically what you want with Skywrath. Right. Very good pairing.
Ogre has not been played as much as he was previously in about 6.82, and previously he was the pickup for a while, honestly, with the obviously the Fire Blast being pretty impressive. Ignite's not bad, and then Bloodlust to buff up the Wind Ranger seems a bit scary. The Lycan as well. So I like the idea from Ogre Magic. Plus he's tanky, he's hard to chew through. I like the idea of the hero. But there's the Earthshaker for HellRaisers, actually. Now maybe it is going to be an offlane Zeus or dual lane Zeus, like Earthshaker offlane, perhaps. We'll see. Gortz is going to be the Earthshaker, and he's the offlane player. So it is looking like it might be that offlane Earthshaker, which, again, NEL has seen frequently, but not really seen in pro play as much.
They might do the same thing as you mentioned, like similar to last game where Earthshaker and Zeus go up top. With not so much the intention to win the lane, but more as to like kind of be annoying. And they definitely have very long range nukes that they can somewhat spam. Earthshaker, you can't really spam his nuke, but you can definitely spam Zeus's. So that might be their goal here, just to disrupt the supports and keep the supports in check, and like keep them staying up there to waste their time, so that Alpha Ninja gets his free farm in mid. Dread can maybe stack some camps for him, and then get your free farm in your Slark, because they will have better late game. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not so sure about that. I mean, Slark is a beast. You're going to have the help from Venge in the late game with your auras, but we can't forget just how much of a punch this Wind Ranger can pack with Ags plus, whatever. I forget sometimes, but man, Wind Ranger is actually a really big beast in the late game.
Yeah, Wind Ranger, we've seen it before. Can take over a game without any real issues whatsoever. It just comes down to the start, getting that Aghanim Scepter up, and then at that point, taking out towers and taking out heroes, importantly, as well. Gortz is going to go boots first. He'll put up a ward here on the high ground, which I don't believe they spotted. Pycat did not see it, so they'll have vision here. Top rune spot, we have 3 heroes. Goddamn, Alpha Ninja, Gortz nearby. Down bottom rune spot, Dread's here alone for the time being, and it is going to be Artez in the safe lane. I've already thrown down this Observer ward here from the Bat Rider. I might have been mad, actually. Bat Rider has 7 tangos. He also goes for the early ring of protection. No boots of speed coming out for the Bat Rider.